That's what Schnee said.
Oh, I think it's time we knocked it right in the head. That's what Schnee said. Not recorded in front of a live audience.
Hi, I'm Mike Schnee.
And I'm Steve Schnee, and welcome to That's What Schnee Said. This is a video series that will probably only appeal to people of a certain age. We explore the world of pop culture growing up in the 60s and 70s. Many of you who grew up with siblings share the same types of experiences, and we hope that our memories are of a far more innocent time will inspire you to reach out to your siblings and slap them in the face. We're doing this series of videos not because we think we're special. We're doing it to have fun. These are our stories, and we hope that you can relate. Our memories may differ about certain subjects, but that's just because my brother is way more stupider than I look.
You're an idiot.
You don't have to do the okay.
Hi.
Yeah, no,
Hi.
no, not yet.
Hi.
Not yet. Did you have any subjects? I have a few subjects that will probably be quick, but at the same time, was there anything particular that you had in mind that that would be a good idea to talk about?
I did write some down, but they were lost in the fire. They're somewhere. They are somewhere, but I had them listed on there. A lot of them were the same ones you had, but one of the topics I did write was 1973, because that was when when we were both sort of 10 years old, and what was going on in 1973. A lot of things happened, movies, records, things like that. But doesn't have to be today.
Well, that can be today, because that's the first thing you brought up, and this thing's rolling. The camera's rolling.
Okay.
I don't remember, but wait, I have a gift for you straight from Lanny Flowers, the double 180 gram vinyl Lanny Flowers Home, which is yours, and I'll be sending it to you. It has the full Home album, plus the fourth side has tracks that were only available, I believe, digitally. So
in 1973.
In 1973, Lanny.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, I think Lanny was. Did you say that's Austin at first? He's actually from Kennedale, which is closer to Arlington. But anyway, 1973.
I said awesome.
Oh, okay. But what?
Well, actually, if we were to talk about 1973, I think that we should do a little bit more research, because I've got a lot of those newspapers.com that would jar our memory and all that. So we may want to put that in for later. I don't know. Okay, but there are a lot of things, a lot of records we got in 73, and a lot of stuff, and a lot of movies that came out in 73 are relevant.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think any year between 1963 and 2020 are relevant.
Well, you're right. But if you look up if you go to Billboard, the top 100 songs of 1973, or look at every single Billboard top 10 of 1973, you will. That was our time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Do you remember?
I don't.
You remember there was this? Gosh, I forgot her name. There's this girl that I had a crush on.
Carol.
What? Carol?
Carolina.
No. Crinkle.
I was just gonna say that.
There was this girl I had a crush on, and it was probably about 73. What house did we live in 73?
That would be Jane Drive. Maybe the Dumas house, and maybe Jane Drive.
Well, there was this girl at some point, it must have been around that time, that I had such a crush on her, but she didn't like me. Typical. And I remember I told you a lot
of us didn't like you.
I poured my heart out to you one day, and I said, yeah, that what was it, Grand Funk, the song Bad Time to Be in Love, right? I thought I said that was my song or whatever. But instead of you taking it to heart and going, oh yeah, my brother really opened up to me, you just rubbed that shit in my face for years. How many times did we see the double feature Bonnie and Clyde and Bullet?
Once.
No, we saw it a couple times, you idiot.
It was
Now,
definitely at the Gem Theater for sure.
yeah,
It was
yeah,
it was 72.
yeah.
But maybe once or twice. I think we saw that bill somewhere else as well.
At the Gem Theater, we saw that bill, but I know that we saw that double bill a couple times. It's like those
Yeah.
movies traveled together.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
just as like matinee shows. Back, like I said, when we called them walk-ins, it was, there were like TV commercials advertising matinees, when we were kids, and
Like
and
a different movie playing, and then
yeah,
something would play. Yeah.
yeah. It was always you'd get Escape from Witch Mountain matinee or whatever, and then and that was only like once or twice, and it was always and then there were all these like UFO movies, Chariots of the Gods, stuff like that, and they were advertised as special showings like Kern County. Do you remember those commercials and stuff?
I remember the movies and the commercials. I
Uh-huh.
don't remember Kern County.
It was never playing in Garden Grove or whatever. That particular movie. That particular
We
feature.
never saw those movies.
I saw one with Dad. He knew that Chariot of the Gods had come out, and we missed it. There was one. It was called The Outer Space Connection, and it was kind of like almost a sequel to Chariots of the Gods. And Dad knew that I really wanted to see it, so he just took me, because I think that you had no interest. We're talking
75, 76, 77?
somewhere around then. I was young, but not too young. But the interesting thing about it is,
Sounds like a Donny Osmond song. Young but not too young.
Isn't it funny how it's like, you and Dad went off and did these things together, whatever, but all of a sudden you're finding out this one thing that we did, and you're like digging me for it. Like, well, when was this?
When did me and Dad do something that wasn't with you?
I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there to go along with the 95, 97% and Donnie and Clyde.
It's all in your mind.
And it was kind of one of those weird double features. And it was evening. And we saw The Outer Space Connection, with all that typical UFO footage you saw back in the early 70s, the same stuff recycled over and over again. And the movie that it was playing with was just another one of those tag an old movie onto that and call it a double feature. And it was the movie The Reavers. With Steve McQueen.
Yeah.
So
I remember you talking about that because there was somebody's butt in that movie and you said it. I remember you talking about somebody's butt.
No, I don't think it was a butt. I think it might have been boobies or bosom. Because I remember 5 minutes into the movie, Dad goes, well, I think it's about time to go or whatever. So I don't think he wanted to explain anything to me.
Was this a drive-in?
No, it was a walk-in.
Okay, I totally remember you seeing this and talking about Dad leaving. Do you remember?
It was about 5 minutes into it, like the first booby shot, and I had to leave. I guess Dad didn't want me to experience that.
Remember, it may have been a James Bond movie that the opening movie, the also on the bill was Vanishing Point.
Oh, yeah.
They had some great nudity in that one.
I don't remember the nudity. I just remember the beginning and end of the movie. I can't tell you what the point is to the movie.
The point was the nudity. There was this girl that... But do you also remember when Dad took us and David De Leon, our neighbor, to go see A Name for Evil? I forget what it was about, but I think Robert Culp was in it. And this must have been 73, maybe 74, maybe 72, in that general area. And there being like frontal nudity. Like this one girl, they went skinny, she jumped off a cliff and her public hair was showing. And they jumped in. And I remember when Dad had no idea this may have been like the second movie that was playing. We may have gone to see something else that was a second movie.
Yeah.
And I remember David's mom comes yelling at Dad, "Why are you taking them?" You remember that?
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
I'm sure that Dad didn't take us to see that.
No. And he didn't take us to see that. To see.
No. I know that, but I don't think that he would have taken us to see that movie. That was probably the second movie. I would never get into vegetables.
Mhm.
When we go to like the Chinese, you know, every year on our birthdays, my parents would tell us, okay, you pick where you want to eat. With me, it was
You
always
went
Love's. It
and
was
you
always Love's.
loved, and it was me at Chinese place.
Yeah. So we go to the Chinese place, and I hated the vegetables. So I'd
Mhm.
always have to just end up getting a plate of fried shrimp
Right.
and maybe some steamed rice or something like that.
We all hated vegetables because mom
Yeah.
had the canned vegetables, and who liked that? We only ate canned corn.
Yeah. And
But
cream corn.
yeah, but any vegetable roasted is incredible with the right spices. Who'd have thought that we'd be eating vegetables?
Dad, see, I think Dad hated vegetables, didn't he? Mom was the one who liked vegetables. I don't think that Dad would eat vegetables. I don't
No,
think that he was a fan. I mean, I remember
no.
peas. I remember once. Now, I remember once Mom. See, I don't mind peas, but I remember once Mom effed me up off of beets because one day her and Helen were eating a meal and she had beets on her plate. And guess what beets looks like to a 5 or 6 year old? It looks like cranberry sauce.
Cranberry. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
So I asked Mom
It's
for a
not.
cranberry. Yeah, I asked Mom for a bite of the cranberry sauce, and her and Helen sort of chuckled. Okay, and it was beets, and I haven't touched a beet since. Uh,
We've had beets in the past year. We do Hello Fresh.
oh, do you?
Yeah. Oh, I highly recommend it. And we've done beets. Beets are. I don't remember what they were, but they weren't as gross as I thought they would be. Let's put it that way.
Oh, okay, okay. But yeah, I would never have eaten vegetables. But I still won't touch mushrooms. Still won't touch olives. Still, I think that cooked broccoli and cheese smells like. You've never had.
Cheese.
You've never had. Yeah, I know you hate cheese, but you've never had a kid, so you don't know what fresh baby diapers smell like, freshly minted, so to speak. And to me, that's what broccoli and cheese smells like. Whenever I smell it
Well,
cooking,
it all depends on how you cook the diaper.
okay, now here's something. The story that everybody wants to know, that nobody knows that they want to know, is the Ringo fart.
Well,
At that point, I mean, I think we shared a room from the time we were toddlers up until our mid 40s, right?
we shared a room actually before you were born till well into our 30s. Yes.
Yeah. No, we shared a room pretty much all of our lives up until I moved out or something. But
There was a point in Jane Drive where we switched with Dana and Kristen. They got the back room, and then we had the front room. So we had separate rooms. It was like the only time that I had a room of my own, and I discovered things.
Okay. For a few years, we had a bunk bed,
Yeah.
and you got the top bunk bed. I got the bottom. I always got the shitty end of the deal everywhere. 95 to 97% of the time, I got the shitty deal.
Well, it's because I was 2 years older than you.
You're 11 months older than me. We were in the bunk bed. Now, we were big fans of the Beatles cartoon, and of course, the Beatles cartoons were not voiced by the Beatles. I think most of the characters were voiced by Paul Frees.
2 of the Beatles were Paul Frees. I don't know what the other 2 were, but then
Okay.
probably the other characters in the TV show in the episodes were Paul Frees. Yeah.
Yeah. So the Ringo character was always portrayed as the dumb guy. And in those episodes, his trademark thing was always, yeah, right? So for years, we would imitate that,
Yeah.
Yeah. So one day, and I can't believe I'm talking about this publicly, but I've done it on a previous video. And anyway, I usually don't talk about farts in front of girls, but like girls are going to watch this fucking video, So so we're laying in bed. Michael's in the top bunk. Remember, everything floats to the top But we're laying in bed,
Like love, like love. Go ahead.
and it's at night. Neither of us are falling asleep. We're restless, and we had no problem in just rip roaring. So one night, like magic out of the blue, I cut the cheese, and it went. Ooh. And that was probably that was probably 73, the great grand year of 73, maybe even sooner or earlier than that.
No, hell, no. We were kids. No, this was in the 60s.
Okay. So, but
Oh,
ever
for sure.
since then, that has been top of our minds. When a new Ringo comes out, or Ringo Starr album comes out, a new song, when somebody mentions the word Ringo, whatever, all I hear is a fart that goes, "Ooh."
And to be fair, it was about 1967, 1968.
Oh, was it? Okay,
Yeah.
but even then we knew that my butt was speaking Ringo.
Absolutely.
That's it for this episode. My brother Mike and I thank you for coming. That's what Schnee said.
I think it's time we knocked it right in the head. That's what Schnee said. Not recorded in front of a live audience.
Ooh.